Hi. During this time of year, a lot of us are on semester break or are on holiday, so save this for when classes start. Today, I want to share with you 3 study tips from a B plus student. These tips come from a place of reflection and some research. So, I hope by using these tips, you'll not be able to memorize but actually know what you're studying. The first tip I like to share is the Feynman technique. This technique was one I often used during my degree without even realizing it had a name. Only after doing some research, I now know that it's actually quite popular. Essentially, take whatever you learn and explain it as if you're teaching a child. For example, what I just did there, explaining this technique in plain terms, was using the Feynman technique to explain the Feynman technique. Research shows that the act of teaching helps you learn, but more than that, it makes you more honest. You get to see what you've learned in your own understanding without the need of complex words. When we stop pretending to know, we start discovering how much more there is to learn. Studying stops being about having the right answer and starts becoming more about curiosity. Next is one I'm sure many of you are familiar with, which is the importance of sleep. More specifically, the importance of rest. I've mentioned this in my previous work, but by making sure you get enough hours of sleep and by taking naps, you can actually help yourself process what you've learned. I'm sure you've heard it many times, so I'd like to reframe things for you. Did you know our brains actually have a speed limit? Research shows that we can only think at about 10 bits per second. We're human, not machines. And as humans, we can only take in so much at once. We think that if we cram harder, we'll absorb more. But in reality, we have to pace ourselves. Give yourself permission to rest. It might be what you need to succeed. The last study tip I want to share with you today is simple, but probably carries the most weight. To study well, you have to believe in yourself. In psychology, we call this self-efficacy, which is the belief that you're capable of learning and growing. When you believe you're capable, you're more likely to try harder, to persist, and actually choose strategies that actually work for you. When you doubt yourself, nothing will stick, because deep down, you've already decided that you've given up. So the way you talk to yourself really does matter. It's not just what you do, but what you believe while doing it. Over time, it'll be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you can do it, you just might. So, I hope these tips and techniques help you achieve what you're going for. I was often the A minus or B plus student back during my studies. But lately, as I move towards my master's, I've been loving learning. It's not just about the grades, it's about the process. So, if anything, I hope you'll be able to use these tips as a sort of stepping stone to learning more deeply and with more intention. If you can, try and apply these tips in your life outside of class, and you might even surprise yourself. Ask yourself, what's something you'd love to learn just for you? And until we see each other again, take care, good luck, and goodbye.